So if you guys notice, look at this beautiful little Omen. Omen. Now they have like a glass bluish logo. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it does have the old logo embedded in laser in there. It's kind of looks like a three-dimensional aluminum base logo or something like that. But I like it. Very slim down, very slick. It doesn't turn on at all. It just stays dark, and it just pretty much is a mirror. That's all it does. So let's continue. All right, just to let you guys know, this is the power for the actual system. It's 200 watts on there, all right? Very slim, very small. It seemed like the older Omen. They hadn't changed the design. We still have the three-prong connection here, and then of course the slimmed down version of it. Beautiful design that they have. If you guys notice this is really, really slick. All the power buttons over here now. They don't have a 10 key, but it feels like a 10 key. It feels like it could have had a 10 key command key, but they kind of left this empty space here. Of course, 11th generation iCore i7, GeForce, 300 hertz display is a lot. This is a lot. This is really extremely a lot for any kind of gaming out there, where most of the games are 144. You know, everything out there is under 60 now these days, but you know, vendors creating more better realistic games, more movements, more of graphical games are coming out. So maybe in the future this is going to be a really good workhorse for that. Right now the 3070 is a really good video card as it is. Maybe the 3080 will be better if they start promoting that and pushing that out, but at prices right now, this laptop is really inexpensive for the price. So I like that they have everything all built into one. I love it. Really slick keyboard. Not that loud. It's pretty quiet. These tend to like kind of like curve. Easy to put fingerprints. If you notice, I just put one right here. Not that bad. Now the camera. Let's take a look at the camera. The camera is really small. 720. Two audio connections. They're not always the greatest. They don't concentrate the cameras on that. I mean, if you really want to stream, I would suggest buy a external drive, an external camera instead of this one. So this is only pretty much for basic regular meetings and training, and that's about it. But if you want to see details and quality, this is not going to be good for that. The camera is quite interesting. Now, I do have some light in front of me. That's why you're able to see it perfectly fine. But overall, the audio, I'm looking at it, it's pretty high, so I'm going to lower it down just a little bit, maybe. So the camera, pretty good details. I'm impressed with the camera, you know. It's not your normal 720 camera like it said in the specs, but it's a little bit better. You guys see more of my gray hair on this one. So this is a video from the actual camera. So, and you can see a little tiny dot turning on, but other than that, hope you guys enjoy it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the sides. We're going to start here with the Type-C. USB Type-C here. Then we have a micro display port, which is considered a Thunderbolt in the Mac world. Then you, of course, you got your ventilations here, and then you have two USBs on this side. So that's pretty much it. All right, let's take a look. So here is an SD card reader, your 3.5 jack for your audio, your headsets, or your mic. It depends if you have a digital. You have your HDMI connection here, and then you have a USB, and then you have your RJ45 connection in here for your Ethernet connection. And then at the end, you're going to have your power source, and this is where you can actually connect your power connection. All right, so you have your slick back out here. This is where all the heat is ventilating out. So if you normally have something near it, it might suck the air back in through the bottom course, and it's going to be hot air. So make sure you have no obstacles in front of the system in order for the system to actually keep working. What I see most of the times, people put this in locations where not a lot of air comes in, especially on a gaming system. You actually need a lot of ventilation going around. So, all right, let's take a look at the back of the actual machine. If you guys can see, good ventilation right now. It has that extra lift. I like these extra little lifts that they have here, so more air could be flowing in there. A lot of machines are missing this, and they just put in pretty much some rubber ends, and that's it. But this one puts the rubber ends, they put extra lifts in here, so they could make sure that they get enough suction in here. So all the air is going to go in here, and it blows it out. I'm going to demonstrate you guys with a thermal camera. This is plastic based, so and it has a mixture of aluminum and plastic in the system itself in the other side. So like I said, the base, if you guys can see this part right here, This is aluminum, but then it's covered by plastic. That's what I meant. So it does have your NIC card in the back. You can see it. But other than that, I like that they put the rubber ends here, and it looks very well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Omen, all right? And it's very simple to describe some of the stuff in here. It's not that hard, not that difficult, but it looks awesome in here. So there's a couple of things we're going to talk about. First of all, GPU is somewhere in here. Most likely it's on this place right here. CPU is right here. If you can see the 4 brackets that's holding it. Sometimes they're lined up side by side. Depends on the way it is. Now, we do have two 32 gigs memory chips, so easy to remove. Taking it out. That's it. Very simple. You can replace this, but maximum 64 gigs on these machines. I mean, they don't have anything higher than that right now at the moment. They do have two M.2 slots. I'm going to open this one up right now so you guys can see a little bit more. And there is some thermal tape that you got to be aware. It's pretty much just sticking there to hold the to cool the actual M.2. So we're going to take the whole thing off. Here it is. And if you notice, it's kind of glued in there, but look at it. That's the tape, the thermal tape we're talking about. Now, this is a cheap imitation, 2 terabytes inland. I don't know what it is. So NVMe SSD, 2 terabytes on the system itself. And now to put it back, just make sure that the copper is not displaying, and pretty much facing it down. Now, it has 2 little tooth in the back that grab onto the corner. So let's get some more details in here. So battery wise, it's a large battery, but unfortunately it only lasts around 4 hours or less than 4 hours. If you're playing games, you're gonna get around 2.5 hours. So battery's a little poor. They don't have enough space for a larger battery, but it's very simple to replace. You have to remove it right here, and of course you follow all the little triangles here. It tells you exactly where all the screws are. Now you could buy this on Amazon. You could buy the cheap and expensive battery. Just be aware that there's a lot of vendors out there that are just taping up together some batteries, and make sure you guys review and read some of their comments and make sure that they have some sort of feedback from customers like you. Now on the second one, you have your second M.2 here. This one, there is no space in here. There's nothing right now, but you're able to do another drive in here. And of course, they give you the thermal tape. Right now, don't take out the plastic. If you're not using it, keep it as is. NVMe, again, same setup right here on the other side, but easy to replace, easy to remove. Now, a lot of people have put this system on RAID. I do not recommend it if you're going to be gaming, pretty much. Storing areas, the files of the games are a little difficult. Sometimes they get a little large. Maybe dividing the game and the OS will be a good addition. So you could have the OS on one end, maybe storage on the other one. Depends on what you want to do. Now, some people do RAID controls, but if one part of the system overheats and it's not valid, it's going to be hard to regain those files back. So depends how you want to RAID them. If you do some sort of RAID control in there, it's very difficult to recover sometimes, especially if the whole module fails. If this system had another module, I would say go ahead and do that. But because there's only 2, I wouldn't recommend that. That's another thing. Now the fan spread, it sucks in the air here and it blows it out through the back, of course. This part right here, at least once in a while, come in and open it up because it gets a little dirty. I'm gonna put a little picture here how dirty they get sometimes, and people have to clean them up once in a while. So the only thing you can upgrade in here is pretty much the memory, and right now we have 64 gigs as it is, maximum memory 64. Battery, we have 2 MDNEs that we could replace, and on top of that, sometimes they're able to replace the thermal paste. So on this one, if you ever have issues about replacing thermal paste on these machines, you can look at one of my videos I have. They're pretty much the same as other one, and they're very simple, just to remove all the screws. On this particular model, they made it a lot easier because on the other system, you had to actually remove one of the fans that was connected to the plastic, and it was a little tricky because you had to bring it down and push it back. In this case, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's straight out. You can pull the things out and replace it now. It shows you a couple screws in here. Of course, when you take out the whole thing, the CPU and GPU are soldered in, so you're not going to have an issue. When you clean them up, add some new thermal paste if that's required. If it starts getting overheated or if it gets too dusty in here where not enough air is passing through, you'll see it when systems start shutting down automatically or giving the indication of overheating. So that's what happens most of the times. If you're working in construction or architectural, or you're building the three-dimensional games, this is a great system to work with. It has a 3070, but it has a punch. Now, the 3080 might be a little different down the line, but there's not available right now. In the next generation, a couple of weeks from now, after this video comes out, it might be available by now. But at the meantime, we're looking at the latest and greatest that HP has out there, and this is it. I like what they did. So they got rid of the mechanical space. They pretty much streamlined a lot of things easier, made it easier for somebody to replace things. I like that they have, it's easy to even remove the shell itself. I had no issues removing. A couple of screws popped out and automatically we're able to see all this stuff. All right, we're going to do a 4K view of the actual screen, how well it works. And I turn off all the lights in here so you guys can see a little bit better of the quality. Seems like it's working really well. I'm getting a 4K video from YouTube. Don't see any lags or anything like that. It looks like it's well made. It looks really good. So hopefully you guys enjoy that little video, and let's go ahead and continue some more testing. All right, we're gonna play the audio, see how loud it is, at least in the intro of my other channel. So let's go ahead and do a video intro of the older Omen. So all right, today we're gonna do a video testing on the audio part of it. So let's go ahead and play a video that from one of my channels. So we're gonna go ahead and play it. It's loud. It's loud.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host.
Yep.
City Park.
It is loud. I like it.
15. Now, awesome.
All right, we're going to take a look at the Omen interface that it comes with, all right? And there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of. One, you need to have access to the Microsoft Store in order to make the latest update to this interface. If not, you're going to be based on the older one. Now here, if anything that has an HP Omen logo or it has a base out of it, it could be a headset, it could be a handheld, it could be all sorts of things that are based out of HP. They will reconnect to the system. That's pretty much what they try to do, is standardize this something. So let's go take a look at the system here. If you notice, there's a lighting sound effect here, and it says to download. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Automatically, it starts downloading from their interface into this system interface, and we're going to grab it. Once it installs, we're ready to use and configure everything to work with our keyboard. All right, here is our interfaces for the actual keyboard. It's very simple to use. You can just drop down and you can interface and change the colors right now. Right now, RGB lighting is in for a lot of these people, but just to let you know, it's going to drain some of your battery. You could modify to even the breathing mechanism if you see it. Look, I'm changing it. All this is happening as we go along interact too. So nice little feature they have, but like I said, if you're gonna be without power for a while, you want to maybe shut this down and save some of your battery if you want to be gaming, especially after you're hearing all the fans. The fans are a little loud. We're also going to do a sound test too on top of that. All right, we're going to start a test with the audio right now. If you can see it, we're running it, and we're going to try to see if we can maximize it. We're going to do a benchmark at the same time. We're going to see if we could run it so we could get the maximum sound and see how loud it gets. And all right, we're getting about 105 on the actual system itself, 105. The heating source, it seems like it's coming from the center part. You can see more of the heat is not dispensed. Right now the heat's coming off from this side, of course. So we're putting the little mic a little bit off right now. You can see where all the heat's coming from. So besides the back, it's also blowing on the side of it. You see the other, which is not picking up any heat. Most of the heat's coming out, dispersing out this side. All right, so we're reviewing the back of the machine right underneath of it, right, guys? It goes 111, 113. And if you can see all the air that's coming in there, it's intakes. And it's taking it all out right there. This is underneath. This is where all the stuff's supposed to be sucking in. And then in the back of it, cold air here, cooling off everything.
Thank you for watching the channel, and I hope you got some information that you're looking for. And please don't forget to subscribe so we can bring more content like this. And hope to see you on the next one. I'm your host, Frank the Tank, and we are out.